Come on in, I'm Finn, and today I'll tell you about the great time I had at Twitchcon. The title will be relevant, I promise. I have quite a lot to talk about today. My experience working at the Artist Alley, all the logistics and preparations for the event, Twitchcon itself, and the incident. So whether you're here for the drama, to learn more about the Artist Alley logistics, or just because you want some background noise, welcome! I'll leave timestamps so you can skip around, and fortunately I barely have footage because I was drawing commissions at my booth basically the entire day. Most of the video will be speed paints of new Deltarune art for future conventions because I really enjoyed Chapter 5 and wanted to do some fan art. So without further ado, let me recount my full adventure at TwitchCon Rotterdam 2026 from the very beginning. As a little bit of context, I'm an illustrator and last year I finally started selling at Artist Alleys. For those who don't know it, Artist Alley is the popular term for the area at comic and anime conventions where artists sell their original creations. They've always been my favorite part of conventions. Since I was a teen, I could go and spend all my savings on stickers and stationery. I've been meaning to start selling at Artist Alleys for a while, but between me thinking that my art was not good enough and knowing it kept getting more and more competitive and expensive every year, I kept postponing it. Until last year, when I decided to face my fears. Almost every convention I've been to has been both very small and local, with a couple of exceptions. I don't know if any of you could be interested in a different video where I speak about my experiences during my first year of Artist Alley, but a warning, it's nothing groundbreaking. You're not gonna see those huge profit numbers from other YouTubers here, but if you think that can be informative, let me know. Well, anyways, back in January I was applying to every convention I saw and getting rejected from most of them. It was also at the same time I started streaming more frequently. So I got one email from Twitch announcing TwitchCon applications for Artist Alley were open. I knew I was gonna get rejected, but I was just trying to embrace the mindset of just try anyways. So I filled out the application and forgot about it. Fast forward a month later and I got in. I remember screaming to my partner when I got the confirmation. I was both extremely excited and terrified because I was not ready for TwitchCon. Did they make a mistake? I was reading it correctly? Was joining it a good idea? Oh god, I had so much to do. And okay, I have an alright number of subscribers here on YouTube. I'm not famous or anything, but it's a pretty okay number if I can say so myself. But on Twitch, when I submitted the application I had less than 100 followers. But I wanted to take more risks, so I jumped on the adventure and confirmed my attendance. First of all, I could not travel alone. I mean, technically, I could, but traveling so far away with so many bags and no helper would have been quite a risk. So I had to find a traveling companion. Also, do you know how much the booth at TwitchCon cost us? Nothing! It was a free booth! If you have never done conventions, you don't understand how rare this is. For big conventions, don't expect paying less than 300 euros. I know of a very good local convention that I can't even dream of applying to since the booth cost us 4,000 euros. And oh my god, the booth we had was huge! A 3x3 meter booth with 2 tables. I didn't even have enough merch to fill it by myself. Originally I wanted a co-exhibitor to share traveling costs, but a requirement for all exhibitors is that you need to stream on Twitch to apply for TwitchCon, which none of my friends did. I guess I'll be forcing all of them to stream on Twitch for next year. So I decided to go with my partner, and that way we could take an extra couple days to visit Rotterdam as a nice little vacation. We went by car, stopping in France for one night because it was a long trip from Italy. 16 hours total. But hey, I had a lot of time to work on a couple YouTube scripts, including this one on the way back. And after many hours and hours of car ride and explaining the Hollow Knight lore to my partner, we arrived in Rotterdam. The city was lovely, we really enjoyed our brief time visiting. Shout out to all my Dutch viewers. On Friday, May 29th, we went to assemble my display, and the next day, TwitchCon started. Let me just say, even if we were non-stop working for more than 8 hours each day, TwitchCon really felt like a vacation. It was so much fun. I've never been to any convention that treats the artists so well. As I said before, the booth was free, which is already better than any other convention I've been to, but it doesn't end there. The organizers were so kind and helpful. They made sure we were all doing okay and helped us solve any problems we had. We also had access to the exhibitors' lounge to rest, and they gave us coffee, breakfast and snacks for free. They even had a waffle and ice cream booth for us, completely free. This was no longer just good treatment, We felt like royalty. I wish all artist alley vendors got accepted in Twitchcon at least once because it truly feels like a luxury vacation. Talking about artist alley vendors, as I said, TwitchCon was so busy, I didn't even have time to record much footage, nor do some interviews that I had planned. And I was not the only one. I wish I could have talked more to the other artists, but everyone I had the chance of meeting was lovely. I talked to them about how I was feeling a bit out of place at TwitchCon. Like, I couldn't believe I was accepted when my audience was so small and I was quite inexperienced. But they told me that TwitchCon actually likes picking some smaller creators every year to give them a chance, and I think that's so sweet. Oh, and some people at the Artist Alley wanted to design freebie ribbon. Okay, so ribbon culture at European Comic Cons doesn't seem to be as popular as it is in America. Basically, they are these things that you stick to your badge. I designed this seal ribbon because of course I had to do it seal themed, and gave it for free with every purchase at my booth. Well, at least during the first day, because I ran out of them quickly. I was also part of a stamp rally for the first time. The theme was purple Pokemon, and we had these prints and stickers to give away to anyone that completed the rally, and the Pokemon I chose was Sinus Phil. Okay, yes, I'm predictable, I know. So yes, the organization was great, the art is lovely, and I was getting way more sales than expected. What could possibly go wrong? And now, the part everyone was waiting for. Finn, what do you mean you got robbed? Well, let me give a little bit of context. As I mentioned before, the space we had was so big, I couldn't fill the 2 tables with merch, because I didn't have that much. So last minute I decided to do some traditional commissions at the event with inks and markers. Originally they were at 20 euros because I had never done live commissions before, and I didn't know how to price them. But other artists from the Artist Alley were like, oh dear no, you are underselling yourself. Raise your prices or you're gonna get flooded with so many commissions and you won't have time to rest. And even if I was a bit insecure about doing that, they were right. Because each commission could be at least 1 hour working, material costs, plus the fact that I couldn't be able to help my partner with the sales. So I decided to raise them to 30 euros, and if the slots sold out, I could raise the prices a bit more. They sold out immediately. I had to constantly be raising my commission prices like 5 euros at a time because I kept getting more, and in the end I did not stop drawing the entire weekend. I think it was in great part because I was one of the few artists that had commissions open, but still, thanks everyone there for the interest. I also received constant compliments for live drawing, and that made me so happy since I'm mainly a digital artist and I hadn't had much chance to draw traditional lately. But anyways, one of the first clients that got a 30 euro slot was a British woman and her daughter. They paid, the mother gave me a picture of her daughter, I drew it, and some hours later they picked it up while I was away on a bathroom break. Everything good. I moved to the next commission and continued working. Anyway, so it's the next day. During the afternoon, after finishing all my commissions for the day, I couldn't draw anymore. I drew like 14 commissions between the 2 days, one after the other. Kinda brutal, but I told myself that that way we could pay for the gas on our way back. I told my partner I was gonna take a stroll through the Artist Alley and get some gifts for them, for our friends, and some stickers for me. I really like stickers. Well, after 15 minutes or so, I came back and I found that the British woman from yesterday, the one that came with her daughter, was at my booth screaming at my partner. Now, I was away for most of it, so I think it's only fair letting my partner do their best impression. Ready?
Do you think my daughter is ugly? I paid you money and you gave me this drawing of an ugly person. My daughter was crying. She was crying all night because of your drawing. I want a refund or I'm going to go to staff and report you. How can you think this is not ugly? This is a caricature, not a portrait. My daughter is beautiful. Do you think my daughter is ugly? She's a famous musician and she will send her followers after you. You are disgusting. I want my money back.
Thanks, that was perfect. And she kept showing us on her phone the picture of her daughter that she gave us as reference. And it's not just because I'm the artist, but when other people saw the drawing and the reference picture, they were like, it's a perfectly fine drawing. But she kept screaming, and the thing is that at TwitchCon everyone is recording. You're being on stream 24/7. She already made my partner uncomfortable enough, and if she drew a crowd, that could have gone badly for everyone involved. So I handed a 50 euro bill to refund her, so she could leave us alone, and she just ran away without giving us the 20 euro change. I know that was my fault for trusting someone who kept harassing us to give us back the exchange, but man, she took an extra 20 euros plus all the work and time and materials from the commission itself. Now you might have some questions because I had them. The entire thing was so confusing, my partner kept pondering about it as well. First of all, you might think she thought the commissions were in a different art style, and I did not do the one she expected, so she didn't like it. I had exhibited multiple examples of the exact style and technique I use. I was also working on other drawings while that happened. You couldn't commission someone in an art style you didn't like, so that couldn't be the reason. Another reason could have been regarding insecurities. I'm gonna be honest, I love drawing, unconventionally attractive traits. I don't really like using unconventionally attractive as a description term because it feels backhanded, but let me explain. Big noses, thick eyebrows, acne, moles, different body types, I love drawing them. I had many insecurities growing up, chubby cheeks, tooth gap, very dark eye circles, and for me the way I started loving them was just by drawing them. Putting love in my drawings and the things that made me unique make me like myself more. So a reason could have been drawing the girl as she is instead of an idealized version that erases her traits. The only problem with that theory was that her mom was right. That girl was conventionally attractive. Just a white thin girl with a small nose and brunette wavy hair. The most accurate way I can describe her was, she looked like the default female me. So that couldn't be the reason either. And then, why didn't she say anything when picking it up? She could have asked for corrections then. Why did she come back yelling the following day? Why did she steal my money? And for the people that might be saying, well, if someone doesn't like the drawing they paid you for, you should refund them. And to that I say, you don't go to a restaurant, read the menu, order a burger, eat the burger, and later you ask for a refund because you don't like burgers. Obviously, if you get food poisoning, or the ingredients are not listed correctly, or they never deliver the burger, that's a completely different thing. But if you don't like the flavor, you just don't come back to the restaurant again. She could have asked me politely to do any changes. Or I don't know, at least if you ask for a refund, don't insult me, and especially don't insult my helper. Another weird thing is how she showed up during the last hours of the second day without her daughter. I might be wrong, but she didn't look like the type of person who could enjoy Twitchcon. She was there probably for her daughter. Does that mean she bought herself a ticket only for the second day? Those cost more than the commission itself. Was she gonna spend extra money just to yell at us? I don't know, the more I think about it, the less sense it makes. I contacted security, but there was not much they could do. Which, understandable, I should have been more careful and not give up on pressure from Karens. But this really affected us. We were a bit shaky. It really sucks how a single bad interaction can completely ruin your mood. At the point this happened, there was a bit less than 2 hours left, and I had closed my commissions for the day. But right after she left, a guy came asking about my commissions because he really liked them. And even if they were closed, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do one more just to get the money back. But this person saw that we were both still shaking quite a bit, and while he was paying, he asked us what happened and we explained a short version. I don't normally trauma dump to clients. Sorry, I know it's not professional, but everyone could tell something had happened just by looking at our faces. But he assured me he really liked the commissions I've been doing and he wanted one. So I did the commission, and after an hour or so he came back and he said he loved it, and I was okay to tip. So we were like, oh sure, thank you. And he asked us if 70 euros was okay. To which we said, what? No, you cannot tip 70 euros. But he wanted to also pay back for the scam, and he insisted. And I told him that if he really wanted to support us, please. He could get anything from our booth, and that's more than enough. So he asked if he could buy one Rosalina drawing I had as a commission example. And I was like, of course, it's 25, but since you already got a commission, let's do 20. But he insisted he wanted to give us 70 euros, and oh my god, that was so generous. So yes, shout out to Ivine Thab, you really didn't have to. I just wanted to take a moment to remind everyone that most people are good. We had 2 lovely days at Twitchcon, got many sales, and everyone kept complimenting my art and being so polite and friendly. Many visitors were just giving free stickers and gift bags with charms and goodies inside to all the artist alley vendors. One person even came to our booth and gave both my partner and me a couple of D20 dice. I'd like to also shout out BC23 on Twitch, who had a long denim cape and went booth by booth asking artists to sign on it. How cool is that? And we're not even talking about the people from the artist alley itself. As I said, I wish I had more time to talk to everyone. It was such a busy weekend, but so much fun. Thanks also to everyone that came by my booth to check if we were okay after hearing what happened in the Discord server. Many were also curious about the illustrations so ugly that made a person cry, and were disappointed and slightly confused when it turned out to be just a nice drawing, similar to all the ones on display. Also, I could showcase the illustration in question for the people curious, but I really don't want to fuel the fire and get accused of defamation by any Karens watching, and also because my partner wanted to destroy it, and I was so happy seeing them do it. So instead, I'll be showcasing other commissions I did that weekend. This might be a nice moment to mention that I have my digital commissions open right now, in case anyone is interested. Just check if you liked my art style before. I've always assumed people do that, but now I'm not sure anymore. So now, talking numbers. Some people might be wondering how much money we made. Well, before sharing exact numbers, first we have to share the overall costs. While the booth was free, we did have to get insurance and pay for the parking for the 2 convention days plus Friday to build our booth. So the insurance was 175 euros and 61 in total for parking. Then, as I said, we had to drive all the way from Italy. Since my partner was driving and helping me, I obviously paid for all the travel costs. Gas and fees sum up to a total of 450 euros. Then hotels were 368 euros in total. So it's a total of 1054 euros, without counting food and merch costs. So we are rounding it up to 1400 in total costs. In total, I made around 2400 euros, which means I earned 1000 euros of profit, which some of you are gonna think it's a lot of money and others are gonna think it's not enough, but if I can be honest with you, I was 100% sure I was gonna lose money, so I was ecstatic. On the way to the convention, I remember joking to my partner about naming my video something clickbaity like, I lost how much money at Twitchcon? So at least I should be thankful to that Karen for the new clickbaity title. If I ever travel to Twitchcon again, I'd really try to get a co-exhibitor to split the costs. Moreover, I did not have that much staff compared to other booths. I'm gonna be working on a lot of new merch because I'm sure I could get better numbers with more preparation time. And as a friendly advice, if you ever get accepted at TwitchCon Europe, you must bring a Square Pay reader or anything that allows you to pay with card, because almost no one carries cash. Considering my inexperience, TwitchCon went really well. I can only assume I can do even better with more merch, time to prepare, and someone to share the booth with. So yes, I could totally recommend setting at TwitchCon if you get the chance. Even if the encounter with that Karen left a bad taste in our mouth, that's just customer service for you. I'm so lucky to be able to do what I love for a living, and most people can't say the same. It's way too common for workers to get constantly mistreated by hellish customers. But it's important to remember that most people are not like that. I believe most people are kind, but that rude minority is the loudest, and one single negative comment will affect you more than 100 positive ones. Just don't let those people have power over you. They don't deserve to be in our thoughts for longer than they needed to. And as my YouTuber friends always say, if anything bad happens to you, that's content, baby! So if anyone is watching this after visiting my booth, hello and welcome to my channel! I hope you enjoyed TwitchCon as much as we did, and I really hope we get accepted next year because that sure was a lot of fun. Did you go to TwitchCon this year? Or have you ever been to TwitchCon? Either the American or European one. Also, feel free to share your horror customer stories in the comments. Special thanks to my partner for all their help. I really couldn't have done it without them, and they are the absolute best. Also, thanks to my friends who took care of our cats while we were away. I guess thanks to our cats too for not burning down the house while we were away. By the way, we had a little tip jar with a sign for tips for the cats, and they earned over 30 euros. They are getting so many treats. And since we're being thankful, thanks to you for watching. Bye bye!